In 1913, Hugh H. Smythe was born into a working-class family with 5 siblings. He was raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania by his mother and grandmother. His father passed away when he was only 3 years old. In 1936, Hugh Smythe got his B.A. in sociology at Virginia State College. 1 year later, he received his master's in sociology at Atlanta University, where he studied under the great intellectual and activist W.E.B. Du Bois. While at Atlanta University, he also met his wife Mabel, who he worked with and studied alongside throughout his career. Mabel Smythe was an impressive researcher as well. She received her Ph.D. in economics, and they pursued a long path together as scholars. Hugh Smythe's studies ultimately focused on anthropology, and in 1946, Hugh Smythe got his Ph.D. in anthropology at Northwestern University with his advisor Melville Herskovits. His dissertation was on patterns of kinship structure in West Africa. Now, Herskovits was helpful to Hugh Smythe in many ways, but he also became an obstacle at times. Hugh Smythe felt that Herskovits didn't take into consideration the uphill battle that he faced as a researcher and as an individual due to racism, as well as one of the few African Americans in the field of anthropology. Because his struggles in life were what he specifically referred to as racial handicap, Hugh Smythe passionately chose to pursue the majority of his studies in the field of racial and ethnic relations, with a strong emphasis on the struggles that have been historically imposed on non-white people and communities throughout all nations. One nation that he was specifically drawn to was Nigeria. He was fascinated by Nigeria's fight for independence, and he said that the nation showed considerable potential for leadership in the continent. He conducted this study between 1957 and 1958, and he published his book with his wife Mabel, The New Nigerian Elite. Though his focus was often in West Africa, he studied and lived in many different nations as well, such as Japan, Thailand, and the Middle East. Throughout his career, Hugh Smythe took on many complex tasks. He explored issues that were intentionally being pushed aside by a domineering and overwhelmingly Eurocentric society. Issues such as race, nationality, identity, and the intersecting nature of these research topics were deeply examined by Hugh Smythe. His work still contributes to one of the most extensive fields of study and gives all anthropologists access to uncommon insight, resulting in a more holistic perspective on the study. It is scholars like Hugh Smythe who are able to influence masses to have a better understanding of the multifaceted society in which we live, to look more closely in the areas of study that have been intentionally forgotten or carefully pushed aside by the fearful, ignorant, and closed mind, and it is a cause worth fighting for. The man who waits for a perfect opportunity will wait a lifetime. Yoruba proverb.